Today's lesson 72, two-way tables and relative frequency. So do now, use the following information to answer and create a scatter plot. The table below shows the value of a baseball card each year since it was issued. So draw a scatter plot to show the relationship and identify what type of relationship it is. So here's our X and there's our Y. So down here we're going to put the year, and here we're going to put the value in dollars. So the years go up by 1, which is nice and easy. All the way up to 12. And the dollar amounts, there's not a consistent pattern, but our first starts at 3. Maybe if we go up by 3s, that'll be enough. Nope. So let's go up by 5s. Actually, we can probably go up by 4s. Yeah, that works out nice. 48. Now we're just going to plot 0, 3, 1, 7, 2, 9, 3, 14, 4, 15, 5, 18, 6, 20, 7, 25, 8, 27, 9, 32, 10, 35, 11, 38, and 12, 42. So we drew the scatter plot to show the relationship. And what type of relationship is that? It's going to be a positive. Meaning, the older the card gets, the more it's worth money-wise, which makes sense. If you're collecting cards, the older the card is, the more value it has. Do now question 2. The graph below shows the average price of a new home in a certain city each year since 2004. Use the graph to answer the following questions. In what year or years was the average home price $300,000? So we look, here's 280, here's 320, so 300 is right in the middle of them. So we hit it once at 2006. Hit it again at 2008. And we hit it one more time in between 12 and 14, so it'd be 2013. B. What is the approximate average new home price in 2004? So here's 2006, so it has to be before that, and you could see we're going up by 2s. So we'll go back 1, it would be 2004. We go up and over, so it'd be $280,000. So now we're going to talk about what a two-way table is. So what is a two-way table? It's a table that displays two categories of data collected from the same source. So a table that displays two categories of data collected from the same source. So first we want to create our table. We could find the totals of each row and column by addition. Then we want to answer any questions using our table. So let's do some together. The table below shows the results from a survey where students were asked if they play an instrument and if they play a sport. So we're going to find the sum, so that's addition, of each row and column, then answer the questions. So that's what we need to do first. So plays an instrument. So we're going to do 9 plus 14 to get the total. So 9 plus 14. So it's going to be 23 total playing instrument. Or then does not play an instrument. 33 plus 19. We get 52. And then we're going to do play a sport. 9 and 33. You get 42. Does not play a sport. 14 and 19. You get 33. And now these, if I add these and I add these, this number should be the same. So 23 plus 52, I get 75. 42 plus 33, I get 75. So my total for both is 75. So let's look at question number 1. How many students play an instrument? 9, 14. So we have 23 students. How many play an instrument and a sport? So play a sport, plays an instrument. So we have 9 students. So it is following the table. Plays an instrument, plays a sport, where they meet is at 9. How many students do not play a sport? So 14 and 19 we got. Our total was 33 students. How many students play a sport but do not play an instrument? So here they play a sport but does not play an instrument. So I just follow where these two meet, and I have 33 students again. How many total students were surveyed? Well, that's why we filled this in right here. There were 75 students. All right, let's look at one more. Emily randomly surveyed students at William Floyd Middle School and found that 72 students ride the bus, and 37 of those students buy lunch from the cafeteria. There are 19 students that do not ride the bus, but buy lunch from the cafeteria. 9 students do not ride the bus or buy lunch from the cafeteria. So we have to fill this in first before we can answer the questions. So it says 72 students ride the bus, and 37 of those students, so our total for riding the bus is going to be 72. 37 of these 72 students buy lunch from the cafeteria. So we could fill this in. So 37 plus, it's like a one-step equation. What number gives me 72? We'll call this X. So all we're going to do is subtract. Oops. So this would give us 35 right here. 37 and 35 gives us 72. There are 19 students that do not ride the bus. So do not ride the bus, but buy lunch from the cafeteria. So I'm going to put 19 here. So now I can figure out the total. Buys lunch from the cafeteria. I add these two up. 56. there are 9 students do not ride the bus or buy lunch from the cafeteria. So my 9 is going to go here. And now 19 plus 9 gives me 28. And 35 plus 9 is 44. And I need to figure out my total. So I could add either way. So 56 plus 44 is 100. 72 plus 28. So there were 100 total students surveyed. So now let's answer the questions that go with this table. How many students buy their lunch? So here's the buys of lunch. Total, 56 students. How many students do not buy their lunch? Here's the total. Follow it over. I'm sorry. Yeah, 44. How many students do not ride the bus? So 19 and 9, we get 28 students. How many students ride the bus but do not buy their lunch? 35 students. And how many total students were surveyed? That's what we found out before. 100 students. So now we're going to move on to relative frequency. So what is relative frequency? It is the values in each category divided by the total number of values. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at it. Number 2. The data below shows the results of a survey in which a group of students at William Floyd High School, seniors, were asked if they had a part-time job and if they had their driver's license. Complete the second table by finding the relative frequencies. Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Okay, so we need to figure that out. So how are we going to do that? So all we're going to do is we're going to take whatever's in here, so 25, divided by the total. So part-time job, driver's license is 25 divided by 60. You get 0.416 repeating, so we're going to do 0.42. So that's the relative frequency. We're going to do that for all the boxes. So 17 divided by the total, 0.283 repeating, so we're just going to do 0.28. And now add these up. 0.42 plus 0.28 is 0.7. And then we're going to do it again. Now we're going to do 8 divided by 60. We get 0.13. Then we're going to do 10 divided by 60. 0.17. And add them up, we get 0.3. So total, so add these two, 0.42 plus 0.13, 0.55. Add these two up, 0.45. And if I add this way and this way, I get 1. Doesn't matter which way. So 1 says, what percent of students do not have a part-time job? So no part-time job. I'll go to 0.45, but it's asking for a percent. So I have to move the decimal 2 times to the right. So 45%. 2. What percent have a part-time job but do not have their license. So it'd be 0.13. Move it 2 times to the right. 13%. Convert it from a decimal to a percent. If there were 400 students, seniors total, how many would you expect to have their license and a part-time job? So 400 times part-time job and license would be 0.42. So do 400 times 0.42. We get 168 seniors. Okay, so let's move on to B. It says, a group of random 7th graders at William Floyd Middle School were surveyed and asked if they have a Facebook profile and a Snapchat profile. The results are shown in the table below. Complete the relative frequency table using the information and answer the following question. So they gave us the relative frequency table. Oh, we have to fill that in. They gave us the other table, and we're going to fill that in. So we're going to do exactly what we just did. So 16 divided by 50. Well, let me clear that out. It would be 0.32. No Facebook and Snapchat, which is 20. Divided by our total is 50. 0.4. And we could add these up. 0.32 plus 0.4. It's 0.72. Now I come to this box, which is 6 divided by my total 50. I get 0.12. Now I come to this box. 8 divided by 50. 0.16. And if I add these two up, 0.12 plus 0.16, I get 0.28. Now add this way, 0.32 plus 0.12, 0.44. Add this way, 0.4 plus 0.16, 0.56. And then if I add either way, it's always going to be 1 for these. Question 1. If there are 380 total 7th graders, about how many have Facebook? So 380 times have Facebook, 0.44. So 380 times 0.44 is 167.2, but you can't have 0.2 of a person. So 167 7th graders. If there are 380 total 7th graders, about how many have Snapchat? Where's Snapchat? 72. So 380. So 273.6. So 273. So 273 7th graders.